So maybe we should learn a few songs first.
Great.
Oh no.
Although each Beatle had largely been writing separately by 1969, they would still come together to compose and collaborate. A perfect example being I've Got a Feeling, two separate songs by John and Paul stitched together and given a magic Beatles sheen. John is first seen performing his new song Everybody Had a Hard Year at the end of 1968 in the garden of his Weybridge home. The performance with Yoko is captured on their experimental film number 6. At this stage, the lyrics are superimposed over the same chord structure for Julia.
Surprise, surprise. Everybody had a hard year. Everybody had a good time. Everybody saw the sad days. Everybody saw the sunshine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
With divorce, estrangement from his son Julian, a heroin near addiction, Yoko's miscarriage, and conviction for cannabis possession, it was a bit of an understatement to call it a hard year. At least Paul was always there to come to John's rescue if he ever needed help to finish a song, and so it was with I've Got a Feeling. Paul adding his own song and working with John at his Cavendish Avenue home. I've Got a Feeling next came up on the very first day of the Twickenham rehearsals on the 2nd of January 1969 for what would become the Let It Be movie. As they waited for first Ringo and then Paul to arrive, John demoed the composite version of the song to George, who overlays lead guitar over John's own guitar.
See which should come where.
Is that one called I've Got a Feeling?
Well, I've got a hard on.
Everybody had a hard on.
After Paul arrived, joining the rest of the group, it's clear that John and Paul had already collaborated on the song, as they ran through the composite version over 20 times. Paul can be heard shouting out the chord changes to John and George.
And it goes to E.
Paul clearly had an arrangement in mind, frequently stopping the run-throughs and alternating from bass to acoustic. He's quite particular about the descending riff he wants John to play.
It's coming down too fast, the note.
As ever, the Beatles had the opportunity to add their own unique stamp to the song. Ringo opted for an instinctive swing-style rhythm for the ascending and descending triplet chords in the instrumental sections that follow John's contribution and then at the conclusion of the song. 6 more performances are attempted on day 2, when Paul starts to raise concerns about the bridge.
The bit that I find the weakest now is...
Yeah, that's just power, you know. Yeah.
Maybe a harmonism.
Just sing your one. You're singing B.
Yeah, just sing the next harmony down so it's not too low for you.
All these years.
All these years.
Oh, that's very high for me.
Don't shout, pal.
All these. Oh, it's terrible.
We're wandering around.
All these days.
Wondering how come.
Down on the one note, is it?
All these years been wandering around, wondering how come nobody told me all that I...
That's very high.
It's like... 3, 4. All these years I've been It's a bit early for that, anyway.
Early in the morning, you know. I'm not 18 anymore.
On the 7th of June, 6 more run-throughs followed, this time with Paul instructing Ringo to keep to a 4/4 drum pattern on the ascending and descending triplet chords. This is retained for the following day's performance, which actually makes it into the Let It Be movie. The next day, they went through the song a further 5 times. Paul instructs a silent George on the descending guitar riff at the conclusion of the bridge. 2 days later, George quit the group. Afterwards, in a private conversation between John and Paul, secretly recorded by Michael Lindsay Hogg, "I've Got a Feeling" is referenced.
Yeah, but really, I mean, it is going to be much better if we can actually just sit here and say, look, I've got a feeling, I've got a feeling, it's exactly like that place. And he'll say, I'm not you. And I can't do it exactly like you.
With George away, John, Paul and Ringo rip into an angry version of "I've Got a Feeling."
Yeah, I got a feeling. Okay, George, take it.
With George back on board and the action moving to the Beatles' own Apple Studios, it would be Billy Preston who would next add his own distinctive mark to "I've Got a Feeling." In fact, this would be the first Beatles song which Billy performed on, and he and his Fender Rhodes electric piano added a huge positive impact to the sound and the mood of the Beatles. With astonishingly no rehearsal beforehand and not knowing the song, Billy immediately gels with broad grins all round from the admiring Beatles. Having rehearsed "I've Got a Feeling" well over 100 times, the Beatles were certainly ready to perform the song live on the Rooftop on the 30th of January, completing 2 different takes. A mix of the first one actually made it onto both the Let It Be album and movie, containing an error from John where he sings "Everybody put the fool down" instead of "foot down."
Everybody had a good year. Everybody let the hair down. Everybody pull the socks up. Everybody put the foot down. Oh, yeah.
The isolated tracks also show a powerful lead vocal from Paul.
Yeah, yeah, I've got a feeling, yeah.
Aggressive guitar playing from John. And Ringo's steady 4/4 beat. Paul unearthed "I've Got a Feeling" for his live tour from 2004 onwards, and he's often dewy-eyed as he records one of the last true songwriting collaborations between him and his estranged partner. His most recent performances have added poignancy, as, thanks to Peter Jackson's digital remastery, he's able to sing once more with John, digitally reunited.